I got the call, I believe, on a Monday. I can't recall exactly because I watched the storm like most of us watched the storm over the weekend as it started to hit Friday evening. And when I got the call, they weren't even sure whether they were going to get us out right away, because at that point, all the airports into the New York, New Jersey area were shut down.
Well, again, I'd been watching coverage on television of this big storm that was coming. I sent an email to the emergency services director saying I was available to drive if she needed me. About an hour later, she said, I have a gentleman from Cincinnati who can drive if you can be his partner.
I had volunteered to drive one of the emergency response vehicles in Irv. If necessary, I was told, don't worry about it. We've already got 2 people from Cincinnati that are signed up to do it. I said, that's great. And then on Saturday, about 2:30 or 3 o'clock, they called and said, can you go? And I said, yeah. They said, can you go in 2 hours? I said, no. How about 2.5 hours? It just, doesn't work. And they said, that'll be fine. And oh, by the way, you'll have to drive to Dayton and pick up the partner that's going with you, Lynn. I said, that's fine.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe 13 states were affected. Millions of people, millions of power outages, and I believe, I know that the total damage in New York was about $41 billion, and in New Jersey, I think $36 billion. And I don't know how many people were affected, but it was just complete devastation.
So there were no lights, no street lights, no traffic lights, wires down. So I even had a difficult time even getting to the headquarters and the hotel where we were going to start our operation.
When we drove in, it looked like a disaster. All of their possessions from their homes were sitting by the curb, waiting for the pickup.
And we were told through our management team that Sandy, like Alabama and Katrina, was probably a 6 or a 7, which means it was above the normal scale that Red Cross uses.
We delivered to shelters where it was dark out, and we hit live wires on the road while we were getting there. We delivered food out the window in Staten Island, where the damage was most apparent.
So we did dinner and breakfast, and all night we would provide snacks for them. They would come and talk to us about what they were feeling, and most of them couldn't sleep. So we were just there to help in any way that we could.
Then we had another girl who came to the truck. It was about 40 degrees that day. It was pretty cold. These people had been without power in the cold for 5 days. And she started looking through the piles of clothes for a pair of gloves. She just said, I just need some gloves, I'm so cold. And Karen, the local lady, took her gloves off and handed them to her. And I got pretty choked up about that.
I truly believe that my life changed more in those 2 weeks than in the last 2 years.
That you feel that maybe you're doing something to help. I think in the course of 2 weeks there serving food, we received more God bless yous, thank you for being here, what would we do without the Red Cross? That's the payoff for the whole thing.
It was 2 weeks, but it felt so much longer, and having all my senses heightened for that time and running on pure adrenaline, I came back and I just crashed. I crashed physically and emotionally, and it was difficult because I didn't have too many people around who understood what it was like and what we went through. So I still reach out to my team members, and they're all over the country, but we still talk all the time, and we offer each other support. So I did make lifelong friends that I'll always be grateful for.
Great. So it's, you start off volunteering because you want to help other people. but it is a very fulfilling thing. It feeds your soul. It gives you a sense of satisfaction. So you might start off because you want to help other people, but you kind of get addicted to the feel-good feeling that you get from doing that.
7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Whenever there's a need, we're there, and we're there until the need is over.
It's a win-win situation all around.
People say, why did you do this? And the question is, if I don't do it, who will?
Estoy muy agradecida por ser voluntaria con la Cruz Roja Americana.